Mr. Kokondem.
Good day, my brother, Pastor Matthew, my host.
This is a Nigerian News Center. Let us look at the press briefing of the special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu. I'm talking about Ejimako, who have said that with the way things are going in Nigeria, that Nnamdi Kanu will not get justice in Nigeria. He has said so many things, but let us start from there. How do you react to that statement?
Oh well, Ejimako is a professional legal. Ejimako is a professional legal practitioner. He knows much about the law, and he is closer to the case of Nnamdi Kanu and the other judges. So he knows the loopholes, what are the witnessing in Nigerian handling a such case like Nnamdi Kanu own, and have been following up, not the twinkling and the mingling and the twisting of Nigerian judges. He knows more better than me. Therefore, if he said that Nnamdi Kanu may not receive fair judgment in Nigeria, yes, he is right.
Okay, let us look at another thing he said. He said when Nnamdi Kanu was rendition from Nairobi, that is Kenya, to Nigeria, that all the cases, all the charges for which they rendition him to Nigeria was later abandoned by federal government. He said for that reason that the detention of Nnamdi Kanu was not right, because all the charges upon which he was brought back to Nigeria, the federal government abandoned it and introduced fair charges. How do you see it?
This evidence of Nnamdi Kanu will never get a fair judgment in Nigeria, because look at it. Ejimako was the one who filed the case that Nnamdi Kanu won in the time of predecessor of the present government under Buhari administration. Nnamdi Kanu won the case 2 times. If they said they should return back Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya and pay him some damages, this present government cancelled that judgment through the Supreme Court, cancelled it, and said that Nnamdi Kanu will start fresh charges, which is evidence that what Ejimako said is true. If Nnamdi Kanu will have a fair judgment in Nigeria, they could not have cancelled the case they have won already. They could not have cancelled it. They could have implemented it. Because Nnamdi Kanu will not have a fair judgment, this is why they cancel it. Trying to bring their own kangaroo judgment to make sure they nail Nnamdi Kanu. And if you watch it, since this present regime administration under Tinubu Ahmed started handling Nnamdi Kanu case, how many times have they appeared in court? How many times have they appeared in court? How many times have they read any charge against Nnamdi Kanu? This to show you that Ejimako knows what is going on, and what he said is reality. Nnamdi Kanu may not have fair judgment in Nigeria. They will continue to detain him, buying time until when the sickness in him will reach at the point of death. They will push him away. The sergeant acquitted. He will go. Maybe within 1 month or 2 months he die. He don't have be alive to file his own case against the federal government of Nigeria by kidnapping him.
Okay, let us look at another thing he said. He equally said that the UN at a point wrote to the Nigerian government, informed Nigerian government that they are aware that Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary rendition from Kenya, Nairobi to Nigeria, and that there was no judicial process, trial and court in Nairobi, in Kenya, to determine whether he should come to Nigeria or not. That he was forcefully taken away from Kenya and appeared in Nigeria. And since then, Nigeria seems not to have reacted to the letter from UN. Perhaps most Nigerians were not aware that UN even reacted. So what is your view with this?
My view, you can see that the United Nations wrote to Nigeria. What I see, if you come to the case of Igbo man and Nigeria, or Biafra and Nigeria, United Nations always play lip service. They always play lip service. I don't see why United Nations, Nigeria should be above United Nations. I don't see why Nigeria should be above AU. I don't see why Nigeria should be above Commonwealth. I don't see why Nigeria should be above West Africa. Any case that concerning Nigerian fraud or Nigeria, anything that we hook with Nigeria, the international body will overlook their eye, which means Nigeria is stronger than the United Nations. United Nations fear Nigeria. If not so, I don't see why this type of thing will injustice be happening in Nigeria here. And United Nations, Nigeria is a secretary. It's a signatory. It's a signatory to the United Nations chart, which they have broken. And the United Nations is watching at Nigeria. They cannot even come to Nigeria to investigate. They cannot even come to sanction Nigeria. Which means United Nations are happy in the condition Nigeria is going. Look at the Lekki toll gate killing. United Nations did not react. Look at the massacre of Biafrans under Operation Python Dance. United Nations did not react. Look at CKC, Aba. United Nations did not react. Look at Heavy Bridge. United Nations did not react. Look at Fulani herdsmen killing in Nigeria. United Nations did not react. Then leave Nigeria to do as they like. I'm telling you honestly, United Nations contributed in the detention of Nnamdi Kanu. Had there been the action, severe action against Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu would be released. What happened in Nigeria is what happened in South Africa in the time of apartheid. United Nations keeps service in South Africa for over 400 years.
But were you aware before now that UN even reacted and wrote letter to Nigeria expressing their concern over the health?
This is what I'm telling you. It's a lip service. It's a lip service. If United Nations really mean what they said or what they wrote, it could start from Buhari regime. Buhari could be declared wanted. By now, Buhari could have been in international criminal court. It could have been there. But this time Buhari that no immunity covered Buhari as the president of Nigeria or head of state of Nigeria. Buhari could be arrested by now. Because it was in his own regime that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, not Ahmed Tinubu regime. What Ahmed Tinubu was involved now is cancelling of the case Nnamdi Kanu have won and control detention of Nnamdi Kanu. That's the only problem Tinubu have. But the problem is from Buhari. Buhari and the Melami and others could have been in International Court of Justice, including Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president of Nairobi, and the people that were Nairobi police officers that were involved. They could appear in International Court now. Not to say that we wrote a letter, just like Britain. Britain claims that Nnamdi Kanu is a citizen. What have they done to release Nnamdi Kanu? What they have done to fight?
So what you are alleging is that both you and Britain, they all conspired against Nnamdi Kanu.
They all conspired against Biafra, against Nnamdi Kanu. They all conspired against Biafra, against Nnamdi Kanu. Look at the massacre in First Biafra War. What the British Prime Minister then said, Winston Herald, that no matter the starvation and the massacre of people of Biafra, that they could not supply weapons to Nigeria. Have they been probed? Until that man have up to today, did anybody bring them to judgment? To show you that there's nothing. If it's possible for white man to wipe out white blacks, they will do it. They always instigate the situation of black. They always support bad things. They never see a right people stand on the right track and they don't favor white man to lead Africa. They will support that person. They will should bring that person down. If you look at Patrick Lumumba, in the then 60s, how they kept Patrick Lumumba to promote to when he was an army colonel. Look at what is going on.
But what UN said, they say if they wait for Nigerian government, because it was a personal letter to Nigerian government, they say they wait for some time and Nigerian government is not acting, they made their position known public.
Their position not public. I think it was.
They made their position public.
I think it was a Buhari regime. They wrote Nigeria. I give Nigeria 7 months that lapsed on January 2023. Lapsed on January 2023. That if they did not release that, they take action. Did they take action? The United Nations take action. Who are the United Nations? Colonial masters. They are the United Nations. If you come to the United Nations that is booming today, it's America. France, Britain, the five permanent decision takers in the United Nations. Only Russia and China are not colonial masters. The rest are colonial masters. They are taking decision. They decide what will happen in Nigeria. And Nigeria is the rock bed in Africa. Apart from South Africa, Nigeria is the rock bed for their looting. Do you know how much our prisoners are looting to American bank, to French bank, to British bank? Do you know how many they are looting? Nigerian politicians, Nigerian leaders. So this is why they are always playing lip service, because they know that the people like Nnamdi Kanu, you cannot pocket them when they come out. You cannot pocket them.
Nnamdi Kanu himself said it the other day that if he's out in 2 minutes, he will solve the issue of insecurity in the southeast.
This is just like what Obi said, that if he become a president of Nigeria, he will turn Nigeria from consuming nation to manufacturing nation. From that very that take them Obi will never win Nigeria election. If not win it, they take it. You see,
but let us turn Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, I'm comparing it together. You see Nnamdi Kanu, as he said, immediately he come out. Give him 2 minutes, he will stop insecurity in Nigeria, in Biafra land, which is southeast. And I'm telling you, really, if Nnamdi Kanu come out, he will stop the insecurity. If immediately insecurity in southeast stop, insecurity will stop all over Nigeria. And without insecurity, these so-called United Nations members will not be able to be looting Nigeria. Okay, look at Okoma disaster. Have United Nations condemned it? What they're using Nigerian government or Nigerian prominent people to do is any locality they discover mineral resources, they will send them right here to there. Say bandit, kidnapping, Boko Haram, terrorists. They will wipe the community of that place off. They will come with their machinery, collaborate with Nigerian prominent people, giving the mineral resources there, send it back to their home. That's what they are doing. This is why Biafra case, they don't want to put mouth. Because they know if there's peace in Nigeria, they cannot be able to have access to be looting our treasury. Catherine Luwan, former British High Commissioner in Nigeria, if you ask him, if you ask her, he should tell you there is no cause for alarm. The problem we're having in Nigeria is farmers have that crisis. No killing, that's what we tell you. United Nations, Commonwealth, EU are the problem of Nigeria. They are not holding Nnamdi Kanu, including prominent Igbo people, not the Fulani, not the Nigerian government. And don't go, reacted. And the United Nations come in, Nnamdi Kanu will come out. They know the law, they don't want to permit it. Thank you, my brother.
So let's welcome Mr. Chinedu Michael. Mr. Chinedu Michael, you are welcome. We are looking at the statement that came from the special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu. I'm talking about our Lord Ejimako, saying that Nnamdi Kanu is not going to get justice in Nigeria. We have said so many other things, but let us start from there. Do you share that same fear that our Lord Ejimako is expressing?
Of course, now there is a little information in that regard because of the way and nature things have been happening around Mazen Nnamdi Kanu so far. Especially the recent development on his retrial, you know, and he's trying to tell the court that they should obey the Supreme Court's judgment is about that's the 2015 or thereabout, you know, and if he's saying that Nnamdi Kanu is not going to get justice in Nigeria, I don't know what he's trying to talk about. Are they going to take Nnamdi Kanu outside Nigeria for?
No, look at what he's trying to say. He said one, that when Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria, that after the rendition, that federal government subsequently abandoned all the charges upon which he was brought back to Nigeria and introduced fresh charges. On that basis, that all the detention of Nnamdi Kanu was not justified.
That's what I'm saying. Now, we are saying the same thing now. The fact is that whether the federal government gets in all the illegal charges or something that they would have used to nail him regarding the way he was brought back to Nigeria and raised the fresh charges. We are saying the same thing. Is he going to get justice in whichever way? Because the Nnamdi Kanu is being held illegally by this government today, and the development, the fact is that there is nowhere he is going. They are going to take him. They are not going to. Nnamdi Kanu is not going to be tried outside, you know. So definitely, he has gotten justice before. He has been discharged or acquitted by court of appeal. By court of appeal, you know, and so it's a sign that he can get justice because there is no other law. The law that was used to get that bail for him is still the same law. It has not changed. It just what you are just seeing is the hand of the federal government, you know, and some factors that doesn't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. And I think at this point in time now, all the eastern governors, you know, should be singled out for a very important. I don't know how I'm going to put it. You know, should be held responsible. Right. Any moment from now, all the southeast governors, because I think they are trying to make this thing look as if it is a child's play. I don't know the reason why they are not even making effort, you know, for Nnamdi Kanu to be released. I'm not seeing any concrete effort in that regard. Well, as it stands now, I think if anything funny should happen to Nnamdi Kanu, of course the southeast governor should be the first target. It's not a joke. We are not joking. The issue of Nnamdi Kanu is not a joke, and the better they realize that, the better for them.
The earlier they realize it.
Yes, the better for them, because definitely time is going and people are beginning to lose patience, you know, especially on the reported health issues Nnamdi Kanu is having presently, and he has been complaining that he actually doesn't want to stay within the DSS custody, that they should take him to prison. And it looks like the Southwest and the Northerners, you know, entered a deal in 2023. So, and that deal they entered was specifically where Bola Ahmed Tinubu might have signed a secret agreement, you know, under Northern influence, not to release Nnamdi Kanu, because it is very clear that immediately Tinubu came into power, the first thing he did was to untie the son Igboho, who is also asking for Oduduwa nation. And why is it that Nnamdi Kanu, you know, who caught before then, has been granted bail, and the same Tinubu is saying that he should go, he should be retried. You know, he should face the trial again.
But sometimes that is the judiciary, not the executive arm of government that is doing it.
That's what I'm saying now. Are you going to rule out the federal government influence in the judiciary? The judiciary that is messed up already. You know, the judiciary, Nigerian judiciary is messed up completely. You know, there's no judiciary. You know, what we have now is the political judiciary, and of course the normal judiciary, which is the court of competent jurisdiction. That any court of competent jurisdiction can never, you know, allow that kind of impunity. You know, that's why Nnamdi Kanu is insisting that anywhere they take him, they win them completely. He really made that statement, you know, in the last appearance in the court. So the first thing remains that, you know, the political court of Nigeria is what is holding Nnamdi Kanu now. And
no, on that note, is it right that, or is it a good option that they should look for a political solution to the impasse?
What is the political solution?
No, when I mean political solution, I'm looking at the situation where all the political class, perhaps in the southeast, come together, approach federal government. Of course, we understand that federal government is not prosecuting. Maybe for possibly withdrawing the case in court.
If they feel, are they waiting for somebody to remind them what to do?
No, that's a political solution.
No, I'm telling you, what I'm talking about, what I mean by political court, you know, I'm talking about, you know, the foreign powers that he sees that Nnamdi Kanu must be held, even though he has been granted bail. That is what I mean by political court of Nigeria. You know, they are just using it to play politics, to make sure that they continue to bring anything that has to do with Igbo factor down completely. People, the news is beginning to spread that there's this possibility that Tinubu might have entered a certain agreement with the North, and that is why the North voted for him, to make sure that at the end he does not release Nnamdi Kanu. But he's going to be disgraced at the end of the day, because when it becomes critically clear, that the federal government is deliberately, under the influence of some Northerners and some Western politicians under Tinubu's cycle, is continue to hold him. A time will come when people will begin to ask questions, and that is going to spell doom completely, especially for the Southeast governors who have been lazy about anything that has to do with Nnamdi Kanu's release.
Let us look at another thing that came from Ejimako. He said that anytime he is having conversation, or the legal team are having conversation with Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody, that their conversation is always monitored by the authorities, particularly DSS, and that have not given them the freedom, the liberty, the atmosphere to plan the defense of the Nnamdi Kanu. How do you look at it?
I cannot take that to be an excuse at all, because whatever happens, they are lawyers and experienced lawyers. Before Nnamdi Kanu can be able to say, okay, you are going to be representing me, I think he needs to. He has what he's
trying to say. What is that they are not getting the secret?
It's not his business. It's not his business. Are you going there when you know that you are in enemy's house? What are you going to discuss there? That's a rubbish talk. If I know Ejimako have made that statement, it's completely out of place, because what are you going to discuss inside the enemy's house? And you feel that the enemy will not hear it. That's not what we expect to be hearing.
Is it not normal that a counsel, a lawyer, will have conversation?
We know that his rights are fundamentally abused. You don't need anybody to tell you. It's not for you now to know how you are going to find your way out of the situation. You are talking about. You don't need to be telling the public that you are discussing with Nnamdi Kanu is a risk. When you know that he's not free, when you know that he's in enemy's camp. So what do you expect? Oh, you expect that they should just throw it for you and then you will discuss for 100 days. That is rubbish.
Okay, now let's look at another angle to it. I don't know whether many people knew this before. I don't know Ejimako that at the point UN wrote to Nigerian governments, expressing their concern over the situation Nnamdi Kanu is facing in the prison, over the rendition, and demanded that the Nigerian government should act fast with respect to restoring his dignity and all the areas they seem to be abusing his fundamental human rights.
And the Nigerian government completely has, failed, to do out on that UN report.
You are aware of the UN report before now?
Of course, even before now, when the issue of his kidnap from Kenya, went everywhere, United Nations and other international communities, we are making statements in that regard. To the extent that we heard that a certain ultimatum was given to the then federal government, to release him, and completely ignored that UN decision on Nnamdi Kanu, and nothing happened. What did the UN do? We didn't hear anything from them to date. So, looking at Nnamdi Kanu, I'm telling you the gospel truth. It is not funny, I pray that they will find a solution to Nnamdi Kanu illegal and continued detention. I know that it is deliberate. Whether Tinubu is under the influence of the Northerners not to release him, that is his own business. When it escalates, it will consume the entire Nigeria. That is not the truth. There's no two ways about it.
Now, somebody will say what you are saying is just allegation. That
okay, you don't need anybody to tell you. Is it because he's an Igbo man? Oh, okay. You want to tell me that the same court that Igbo was tried, is it not the same court Nnamdi Kanu was tried? Then why did you suddenly, when he assumed the position of the president, he was quick to release Igbo? And Nnamdi Kanu, whom he knows was granted bail by a competent court, not this their political court they are using to hold him. They are using political court to hold him currently now. So the court of competence have already granted Nnamdi Kanu bail. So why is it that Tinubu, who took over from Buhari, wouldn't have effected that court order till today?
Now, because of what you said, let us examine the situation. Because though federal government appeal the judgment of the appeal court that set Nnamdi Kanu free, and there is no record that they already secured. There is no record whether they secured state of execution of that judgment. But let us look at recently where a court in Nigeria asked federal government to release a good number of Boko Haram members, saying that government will have evidence to prove that they were criminals, Boko Haram members as alleged. And they have since been released. Federal government did not appeal that judgment. Now, do you sense double standard here? Because they are appealing that the Kanu case, and we have a case of people who were alleged to be terrorists. And court is saying, let them go. And federal government just let them go without appealing it.
That is what they have been looking for, but God asked them. They wanted a situation where Nnamdi Kanu will be tagged a terrorist, they are IPOB terrorists, and the whole world know that IPOB does not carry gun. It was just a federation of groups, who are asking for Biafra to be restored. The restoration of Biafra. No gun, nothing, And the people who are killing, who are destroying Nigeria with gun and arrow, are being, allowed to join the Nigerian army. People who have killed, how many people would they say Nnamdi Kanu have killed? Can anybody come out, even the federal government, and point out as these are the number of people Nnamdi Kanu has killed? But the people who are killing Nigerians every day are being set free. Some of them are in the Nigerian army. Some of them, they are just everywhere. Terrorists that we are caught with AK-47, destroying everything that has to do with life in Nigeria. But they are being set free. That's to tell you how the situation in Nigeria when it comes to anything from the Biafran territory, anything that has to do with Igbo man. That's the way it is.
The way it is now, as an Igbo man, as a Biafran, what do you think is the best approach to get it solved?
I'm a Biafran, of course. See, I always say it. We continue to engage. I do not believe that at this point in time, when the need has not arrived, that Igbos will engage any force, currently now to establish Biafra by force. That even if it's going to come, it's going to be devastating. The entire Nigeria will go underground. That's just it, because Igbos are spread all over the world. Igbos are strong. They have been able to access different forms, types of military knowledge and wisdom, and operations currently now. So it's not going to be like 1967, when the whole world ganged up against Biafra, and that war raged for over 4 years until the ceasefire came. But this time around, the Igbos has spread all over the world, and it's going to be difficult for anybody to think that when the uprising starts, it's not going to be like the 1967, And remember too that they were warned, by I don't want to mention that person's name, that the children of those they are killing today in 1967 will one day rise, and they have risen, of course. That's the fact, and are ready to do the needful when the matter arrives. But as it starts now, I'm still pressing that the international community, of course, the United Nations, and of course the world leaders, America especially, and Israel, should look into the issue that has to do with West Africa. So that they should look into the issue that has to do with the continued jihadist movement around West Africa. And of course, they should understand that the jihadist movement, the ISIS, the Al-Qaeda network, the Boko Haram, their target has always been Nigeria. They want to take over Nigeria, and the problem they have continued to suffer, and that is the reason why Nnamdi Kanu has been kept in the DSS custody without trial. Even when the trial came, he won them in the court. They are now using political court to try him. So the world should understand that at this point in time, they need to look into such issues and address it properly, either by fiat or by executive order, or ordering that Biafra should establish their territory on their own. That's the way to go.
Now, on a final note, as we wrap up, what is your advice to Allah Ejimako?
No, I don't think that any slightest thing should just come out. There are a lot of things you should keep close to his heart, especially when it comes to how he intends to conduct his legal presence to make sure that at the end of the day, Nnamdi Kanu is freed. Nnamdi Kanu, he wins the case on Nnamdi Kanu. You understand? Nnamdi Kanu is not afraid of anything. If you look at him, he's not afraid. He is a determined fellow, and he has proven over time that what he's fighting for, he has already prepared. God has prepared him for the sovereignty of Biafra. And if you look at him very well, he has not deviated. He is not double saying. He's not saying anything with double lips. He's always focused and consistent on one thing, and he's not afraid. And so that is the reason why people are beginning to ask, what type of man is Nnamdi Kanu, till today? So what I want to suggest, not even an advice, because I want to suggest to Allah Ejimako, to focus on how he's going to use his experience and his sort of experience as a lawyer and free Nnamdi Kanu from that DSS custody, and I believe in no distance time it's going to happen. I believe in no distance time it's going to happen. Nnamdi Kanu is going to walk out freely, and that will determine the next level of
so we don't know how to
let me give you. I'm looking at you see, at this point in time now, I think the Southeast governors have been very, very funny. And even when they said the issue of solidarity, sit at home, was a bit ravaging the economy of Nnamdi Kanu also supported that it is not having any direct effect on his release, and they should jettison anything that has to do with sit at home. And that was where somebody like Simon Ekpa came in, and was leveraging on that consciousness and was doing his own bit of agitation. But that notwithstanding, Nnamdi Kanu has defined where he stands, and it's left for. So they don't need anybody to remind them, whether there's going to be a political solution or not. Nnamdi Kanu is not asking for that. What Nnamdi Kanu is saying that the corrupt judiciary should do the needful and forget about introducing political judiciary into what is already illegal. The whole world knows that it's illegal. The UK knows that it's illegal. Israel knows that it's illegal. Even Russia knows that it's illegal. America also know that what they did in Nnamdi Kanu, is completely inhuman, and it's only in Nigeria such thing can be tolerated.
I think that's a good place to let you go, Mr. Chinedu Michael. I must say thank you for your time. If you are new to this channel, you are new to this program, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Once more, thank you very much.